welcome to another RSR. Tonight I'm reviewing Forge FC 1, CF Montreal 0, 2025 Canadian Championship quarterfinal leg 1. Forge wins and beats Montreal in the first leg. No away goals to worry about because one, Montreal didn't score any. Second of all, away goals don't count anymore in this tournament. So Forge, if they draw 0-0 at Stade Saputo July 9th, they advance. If they win, if there's any scoring draw, they advance with a 1-goal lead. 1-1 draw would be 2-1 aggregate. Any scoring draw, any draw would make Forge advance. Montreal has to win 1-0 just to get the penalties July 9th. And if they win outright, they would advance. So Forge has a pretty damn good chance of upsetting Montreal through a two-legged quarterfinal once again this year. And they would deserve to because Forge were the better team tonight by far. By far. They wanted this more. Yeah, Montreal had a couple of chances to take the lead or get a goal tonight, I should say. But fittingly, they didn't. They couldn't capitalize. They put the ball over the bar, put it wide. Colalot made a couple of saves. Was he that good? All things considered, not as good as he has been. I think he did get helped out by the fact Montreal put him wide hot a couple of times. He was a little bit shaky, but not tested enough to really make him pay. So that's the good news. Halftime, 0-0. Half it was 0-0. Forge, better team. Montreal had a couple of chances throughout the first half, but Montreal definitely was defending for the bulk of the first half. Forge definitely came out hot, came out strong. They got an offside goal that was called offside as it went in off of Noah Jensen's foot. Right call, by the way. But I think that exactly told you what this game would be. When Noah Jensen scored that offside goal, I think that told you what this game would be. Forge kept pushing and pushing and punching and knocking at the door. They finally got the goal late on in the second half. But the first half, Forge, that was their half. Over 50, but like 70, 80%, 85% Forge. They absolutely dominated that first half. Yeah, Montreal had a couple of chances. They relieved the pressure a couple of times. But all that being said, I'm pretty damn happy with Forge's performance through the whole game, but especially that first half. They did everything they had to do to get out of that first half with a draw and probably should have scored. Forge should have won this game by more. I think the way that this game played out, I think Forge should have won it by more. The problem is they didn't. But luckily for them, they didn't draw or lose. That would have been even worse. A 0-0 draw, as I said during the call of the goal that they scored, I said it would have been very unfair. It would have been very, very, very unfair if Forge came out of this with a 0-0 draw. Especially a 0-0 draw. Or a loss. A scoring draw, it's still an MLS team versus CPL team. I don't care how bad that MLS team is. The worst team in the Eastern Conference versus Forge should still maybe score one on Forge. Maybe. You would think that, yeah, probably they'd luck into one. Maybe they still will at Saputo, but even on the road, you think they'd luck into one. But they didn't. They're not the worst team in the MLS. That's still the Galaxy this year. But you would think they could luck into one, but they don't. And then the goal was scored in the 78th minute, and Poma plays it forward, plays it on to Brian Wright, who lofts it up over Sawah. Sawah's out of the net. Wright keeps running. He heads it in, nods it into the goal. That's 1-0 Forge. What a play by Wright. What a play just to loft it over Sawah, but to a point where he'd still have to head it in just to make sure he'd score. Perfect. Basically, round the keeper, deke him. Perfect ball by Poma as well. That was amazing. Like, that whole play was an amazing sequence of play to lead to the Forge goal. Amazing. It was kind of a perfect play. I would say it was a perfect play, but it was a cutesy play. Not a greasy one. It was a cutesy play, and it counted. It's in 1-0, 78th minute for Forge, and they deserve that. They got their leading goal. They shut it down for 12 more minutes on regular time, plus the 7 minutes of stoppage time because it went a bit longer. But, man, what a goal that was. Just taps it over Sawa and then heads it in. What a goal, man. Yeah, they just showed it again on TV. But, yeah. And Poma with the ball over the top, keeping the ball up for Wright. Wright keeps it up, heads it in over after putting it over Sawa, man. Man, that's the type of play you need. Sometimes you just got to figure that out. That was a goal. Probably won't be a Puskás contender. Do I want it to be? I don't know, but it was a really classy goal. Full time, 1-0. Forge gets the win. They lead the series 1-0 on aggregate. They will take it to Saputo July 9th. And hopefully they can hold on like they did last year. We're going to find out. And hopefully I can go live for it. We'll see how that goes. I'll look at the schedule and how things play out. I would definitely want to go live for the second leg of this series. And I hope to everything I do. So we'll see how that plays out. But full-time stats, 11 shots to 9, 3 shots on goal to 1, 51% possession to 49% possession, 426 passes to 398, 83% pass accuracy to 81% pass accuracy, 12 fouls to 19, 1 offside to 2, 4 yellow card, 4, 0 red cards to 0, 5 corners to 2. This is exactly the type of performance you expected Forge to have. Let's just be real. This was the type of performance you expected Forge to have. You did. You did, because I think we all knew. This was how Forge was going to play. They were going to come out the better team, find a way to win, and make Montreal look stupid. Now, the question is would Montreal come out and be like, nah, Toronto beat the ever-loving crap out of us the last game we played. We can't let that happen again. We can't let Forge beat us. And Montreal didn't really come out with any jump, which is weird. Like, I expected Montreal to come out with some jump. Like, 1-0 is about the scoreline I would have expected. I didn't think Forge would kick Montreal's ass. I thought Forge would win tonight. I wouldn't have been surprised if Forge went and kicked their ass 3-0, because that's how bad Montreal is this year. It's true. But 1-0 is about what I truly expected, because when you look at it, it's like, well, they suck. But they got to come out with some jump. They do. Because they just got embarrassed by Toronto in their own home stadium. Whether that's connected to the prelim round or that's just the fact that it was a derby and Montreal got absolutely owned and Toronto came out with some jump, maybe. But I thought they had to at least have come out with some jump, Montreal, and they didn't. Like, Forge snuffed them out quickly and basically took the initiative the whole way through the game. What else can you do but basically tip your hat and be like, yep, that's what you expected. I expected Forge to win. Probably 1-0, 2-0, 2-1. It's about what I expected, but I honestly wouldn't have been surprised to see an ass kicking, and technically you could say this was. With that being said, man of the match for me, Brian Wright, because he scored the winning goal, and what a play to do it. With that being said, we will leave this game on that. Forge was the better team, and hopefully they hold on to this lead and advance to the semifinals, because let's be real, we know we're rooting for Forge on this channel. Of course, especially over Montreal, but you know what it is. With that being said, if you like this video, like it, share, subscribe, you know what it is, tell your friends, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, hit that bell notification once subscribed, send some chats on the live streams, comment on this video, put this in playlist, share with friends and family, all that great stuff. I will see you tomorrow, 1:55 p.m. Central, 2:55 Eastern, for the live and review. The live stream is when that starts at 55 before the hour, of course, of the final, of the Europa League final, Tottenham versus Man United. live, and then after the game, we review it. And that's it for Wednesday. And then I'll be here Thursday for the Liga MX Clausura final, first leg, America versus Toluca, live review. Then, of course, Friday off, Saturday, TFC plays again, live review. Sunday, second leg of that Toluca America final, live review. Monday, Tuesday off. Next Wednesday, Europa Conference League final, Chelsea and TFC, 2 lives, 2 reviews. Thursday off. Friday, we predict. The next Friday, we predict the CONCACAF Champions Cup final. Saturday, next Saturday, not this one, next, we're live for the UEFA Champions League final, Toronto FC, and the Club World Cup play-in. And then Sunday, the 1st of June, the CONCACAF Champions Cup final, live review, suit day, because that's all it is. And there you go. So that's what the next 2 weeks look like, because the Leafs got eliminated. I will show you what it looks like now. With that being said, see you tomorrow. I'm Ryan and I'm out. Peace. See you.